What's up, everybody? This is Kevin. This is from House of Fame podcast, man. I have a special guest, man, from Toronto. Really good friend of mine by the name of Chris. Has this company that I always use all the time when I go to. It doesn't matter where I go, but mostly when I go to Toronto, I don't trust many people, so I have my people go over there. I have my company branch off and get him at that specific place. Upper Echelon Services.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? That's his company. Very good. Never had any problems. Every client that I gave to him, loved him, and always requested him more and more and time again. So Chris, man, what's going on?
Man, it's good to be here out here in Miami. Get away from that cold, bro. It's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah,
It's frigid.
Yeah.
Frigid, yeah. No, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me, man. It's an honor. It's a real honor, bro.
Yeah.
It's a real honor. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you like this. I know we're in two different spectrums as far as the security field. We do the same thing, but you know what I wanted to talk about more is because you told me this from time to time. You know, down in Miami, we're booming. You know, as far as the security field, there's people flying in and out
every
on
day.
the regular. How is it in Toronto? You know, I'm not gonna say the whole Canada because I know Toronto's like the powerhouse of Canada. How is it as far as the security field going on in Toronto?
It's booming. It's growing. It's growing. And I wouldn't say competition because there's enough money out there for everybody to eat. But it's growing exponentially, actually. A lot of guys are starting their companies. Some are more based in residential security. Quite a few companies popped up for close protection, private security, and stuff like that. It's booming. It's booming. What I would like to see is a little bit more development into the industry in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Explain a little bit more about the development part.
So I mean, it's great to do security, provide the services, but train yourself. You know what I mean? Get some knowledge behind you, some credentials. Go do some courses. I'm big on it because I've done it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something that you kind of have to be undeniable. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't the experience isn't just enough in my opinion anymore, right? Especially when you're talking to, corporate clients and guys who've put in the time in their field and understand what the work ethic and all that means to get into where you're supposed to be. It's just keeping to the standard, you know what I mean? That you should be with whatever field you're in.
Yeah.
Right? But that's how it should be. So I think guys should get some courses behind them, some credentials, emergency medical, stop the bleed, learn how to save a life, learn how to take one efficiently, like I say, all of that, man.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I know you, I know maybe I could have been a little bit more for you. You took a pretty big course offshore.
Yes, yeah.
Shout out to offshore, by the way.
Mike.
Don't think nothing's unnoticed on your behalf. I mean, I see you doing great things, by the way.
Yeah, so offshore training, shout out Shadow, Shamir, that's my mentor, still and always will be, RIP. Him and Mike created this close protective course, skills course for close protection agents. Skill-based, physical, also classroom in the class, so you're actually doing some written work there. It was amazing. The first one I took part was shortly after he passed, and I haven't looked back. I've come every year to take the course. And it just really, it puts your skill sets to the test, with all the other training that you should be doing, the rounds and the reps that you should be doing on your own. But it puts it all to the test, and it makes it, very, it's creative because it's in depth.
Yeah, it's very. I mean? He definitely. I noticed that he makes you critique a lot of things, things that you might not notice. That can change your whole marksmanship.
Yeah. He's big on falling back on your hard skills. Your soft skills. Your skill set is what you're gonna fall back on.
Yeah.
When it comes time to it, when push comes to shove. So, the better you train those, the better you're gonna be.
No, absolutely. I am actually gonna, I want to do his course one of these days. Right now, I know this is the time frame.
Yeah.
You know how we go.
Yeah.
We can only plan.
Yeah.
24 hours.
If that.
24 hours. Yeah. So me, like for example, I had this set up actually for the evening time. You know what I'm saying? And then now I have a client that I have to accompany later on the evening time, so we had to push it to the morning time, which is my first time actually doing a podcast in the morning. And honestly, I kind of like it. I'm more aware, I'm more alert. I'm not, I'm more on my edge. So, that's a good thing, man. Now, Chris, I know We go way back, bro.
Yep.
I can't figure the actual time. I don't know if it's 2000.
2018.
Damn, you know it. almost said 2017, man.
Yeah. So it was literally everything happened about 2 years after I lost my leg.
Yeah.
Really, pretty much. Like the first detail we got after that was Martin Luther King III when he came up to Toronto. That was a crazy detail. Before I had any courses, any planning, man. The advanced work I did for that, it was like 6 months. But like all of that came prior to that. So it's crazy how it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we linked early. I think it was 2018.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
2018.
Was it the Air Canada? Arena?
No, it was
not?
Tory's first sold out show at Cops Coliseum or Cops Coliseum, the Direct Energy Center was what it is now. Yeah, it was his first sold out show at home.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm trying to figure out how did we freaking actually who connected us. That's the part. I don't know if it was a part of the entourage.
I think
it was a part of the entourage.
I talk to Cena a lot. Cena,
That's probably what connected us.
Cena always calls me. That's my guy.
Shout out to Cena, man.
Yeah, he always calls me. That's my guy.
Yeah. I haven't talked to Cena in a minute, bro.
He called me not too long ago. But yeah, I believe it might have been him. And if it's not, then I would have said it's Chins, because Chins he's always looking out for me. So,
Chins, yeah. So I remember when we first met, you were very humbling. You know what I'm saying? You were willing to follow, the instructions and everything like that as well. And, I did notice that you did have, a missing leg, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which it didn't bother me any ways like that, because I saw you moving in and stuff like that. The only time that I was like concerned, because the principal that I had at that time, he does a lot of crowd surfing, and I know that's very tough. Crowd surfing is a very, very, it's a workout itself. And if you don't know how to do it properly, you can get yourself hurt.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember, we was on the stage, and we saw the principal taking his jury off. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. It's about to happen. And the first thing I thought, like, yo, I'm gonna have to just jump in this by myself and just handle it by myself. And I just have him pull him up when he comes there. And I was like, hey, bro, I remember what I said.
Yeah,
what did I say?
Verbatim. You're like, yo, listen, bro. You don't have to go in there if you don't want to. Like, or I think now I'm just saying, you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't expect you to go in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just be here when I get back.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you said. You said, I don't expect you to go in there, but just be here when I get back. Really.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm going with you.
Yeah, bro.
There's no way you're going in there by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, when the principal went and then you went, I was like, I got the video of it still.
Yeah,
that was rent free in my phone and in my head, man.
Yeah, the thing about that I feel like that was monumental though, because I don't know if you dealt with those crowd surfs like that before. I mean, even before.
No, that was the first one.
Bro,
that was the first one.
I've worked with people before, and people panic. They've balled up into like a little ball, like a kid, dog, because of the power of
it's a lot of
the crowd. The crowd, like, listen, when people crowd surf, especially when you have a full capacity crowd, the crowd is like a wave.
Yes.
It's like a current.
Exactly it is.
You can't fight the current.
No, you
have to go with the current.
You gotta go with it.
So you have to go with it. I don't care how strong you are, how much weight you can push, how much you can, leg press or whatever, bro. You're not going to push that crowd.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you work in those crowd environments, I always say you have to go in through little pockets.
Yeah.
You'll see like a little gap here, you go in that gap, stay there. Okay, you see another gap, boom, we go in that gap.
Yeah.
But fighting through people, no, bro, it's just not gonna work. When they move, you move when they move.
Yeah, it's crazy because I fell back on a lot of the skill sets and memories that I had just kind of from club work and being in festivals and certain stuff like that. Because again, you're medical emergency, you got to get in there and get somebody out. Again, you got to keep the flow with the crowd and move. I remember when you said that, and I jumped the fence, I got in, I made my way, started following the crowd, and then as we got to him, I think somebody stepped on my foot, and I went to take a step, and my leg kind of because I'm on a locking system now. Before I wasn't, but it kind of disconnected it a bit. I was like, hell no, that's not happening. I just like stomped my foot in and like got angry, and I went back to it, and then we were just moving through the crowd. For me, that was Man, that was surreal, bro.
Yeah,
It was surreal, especially for, the type of environment, the client, the call that it was. It's like when you get this is for me what it was. It was a call to action. You know what I mean? It was the call to action. Just getting the phone call from you first was that, and then anything after that, there was no way I was not getting involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever the job needed to get done was gonna get done. That's it.
And the thing about it, people, that from that moment on, this has been my guy since that day till even, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago when I had other principals go to Toronto, and I was like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna be there, but I trust you with my guy in Toronto, which is Chris.
Bro. Yeah.
So and it goes, sky's the limit from here, and I know we spoke about you possibly moving to Miami. Like I said, that would be a really good thing for you because I know how deep you are in the game, and your face is very known because you've been in the game for a while. Yeah. So the fact your face is very known, obviously in Canada, but your face is very known in the U.S., which is good. That's really powerful, dog.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's not just regular people that knows you. It's like the big dogs know you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I do think that the fact that you stepped in the water with Shamir in the beginning, because Shamir, I'm gonna speaking his name. I know people have their opinions on him, but like I said, bro, like that's still gonna be my big bro.
Yep.
I still learned a lot from him in the game, as far as the business side.
Right.
He taught. No, I'm not gonna say the business side. The business side I learned from another person. But far as advertisement and promoting your business, I learned that shit from him. You know what I'm saying? How everything is an advertisement. They got everywhere they go, they got to see your brand. 100%. You know what I'm saying?
I got that from him.
Yeah, bro.
Everything.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. We all thought he was. Well, everybody out here thought nobody was doing it yet.
Nobody was.
I'm gonna make that clear. Nobody was doing their brand like that until Shamir did that shit. He was the person that first started branding himself. I'm talking about everything on his shoes, on his sandals, every shirt he had, like whether it was a designer, he put that fucking shit on there too. He opened a lot of doors from people. I didn't know he had that much. When he passed, dog, I don't know if people realize it. Even me and Vic were talking about that too. By the way, shout out about Vic, V&D Executive Protection.
Yep.
When he passed, dog, we saw
the void.
We saw a void in the industry, but in Miami alone, we saw a gate of clients just flood. And we didn't know he had a hold of that many clients, dog, because I'm telling you, bro, when he passed, all these clients just opened up because they didn't have him no more.
Yep.
And it was crazy that it happened like that. You know what I'm saying? It was just too much to handle. And I was like, God dang, bro, I didn't know he had this shit like that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But, it was a very emotional moment, especially for me. And I know I'm kind of like going down memory lane.
Yeah.
But, I was the last person that was within the circle of people was with him before he passed, which was crazy.
That's my guy, bro.
The crazy thing is there's a gym right down this building.
Yeah.
Elevation.
Yep.
That's where he passed.
Fuck.
That's where we were at. You know what I'm saying? That's where we were at that morning. And it's crazy how it happens like that, and you don't notice that. You don't notice it's your last day, though. He 100%. Called me, and I almost didn't come. It was like 7 in the morning. He was like, yo, I want to work out before I go to my client. And I'm like, and at that time, I stayed in like Sunny Isles. That's far from here.
Far.
So I'm like, bro, that's far. And he was like, no. He's like, come on, bro. Like, just get one quick workout. We ain't worked out in months. So I said, okay, I'll go. I called my boy Hugo, he was on the last one.
Yeah.
I called Hugo and I asked Hugo, hey, Hugo, you want to come? Hugo was like, nah, bro, that's too far. I said, okay, bet. Because me and Hugo always work out together. So I came down here. We didn't even really work out, bro. We were just catching up. We were doing little things here and there, and he was just talking about life and everything like that. I didn't see anything wrong with him. I didn't see nothing, dog. We were, he was drinking pre-workout. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know what happened, bro. It just, one thing led to another, and his heart stopped and never came back.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. He really showed me a lot. And I mean, when I say a lot, I mean not just the business side, not just how to conduct yourself professionally, not just how to handle things. He showed me how to really like take care of the family, and not for nothing, but you know, he's got a wife, he's got children, you know, and so do I. So it's like when I go, if I do, let's say I do go in the line of duty, you know what I mean, taking care of a client or something happens. Is my family good? You know, that should always be kind of in the background, but it's what we do, right? We're protectors, right? So, you know, making sure your family is straight, you know, in the event of your demise is kind of key and important. So, you know, I've gone ahead and set up my business so that if in the event of my demise, the business is gonna run. It's gonna continue to go. You're not gonna feel that void, you know, at all. You know what I'm saying? It's, man, that was so important, but even more so, what I feel should be done in terms of, you know, the industry is like there should be a standard of work ethic and you know, business acumen, if you will, like how you conduct yourself, you know, dealing with, you know, if I pass and, you know, one of my guys has got my client, you know what I mean? There should be kind of some real conversation. Now, the client's gonna want what the client wants, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and I get that. But they say there's no honor among thieves, but we're not thieves, so, you know, let's keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do certain things, like, I'll tell you this, anytime I get a call that's, you know, closely related to Shadow or something like that, you know, or if Christina calls or something, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Since that day, 100%, you know? Bro, what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like, we really put our lives on the line for this, so, you know, we should really honor each other and keep it real, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't want to get too much in there, but it's you know what I'm saying? Like, the industry is what it's going to be, and everybody just got to have each other back, man. Everybody's got to have each other's back.
Right?
You know
we definitely have to have each other's back, and we have to serve as a unit.
For real.
I know at the end of the day, you know, in reality, somebody's going to try to stab you in the back.
Oh, 100%.
Somebody's going to try to cut your throat. But I like it when I am on the job, I do see other guards as well, you know what I'm saying, with their clients. And let's just say I have a conflict with someone that's bothering my client, and then I address the situation, I handle it, but the other guards that's working with other people, they acknowledge that that person has other people trying to come at me, and I notice that they come and watch, you know what I'm saying? That's the brotherhood that I like, you know what I'm saying? 100%. But at the end of the day, you still make sure you take care of your own client, 100%. You know what I'm saying? That's your first priority. But I do like the fact that they do, you know, they are aware, you know what I'm saying? Because I've had guys say, hey, man, I got your back, Doug. They got other 2 guys over there watching you, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I do like. And like I said, man, it's all about like a brotherhood, man. That's what you have to 100%. Have. There's one thing, there's actually, in the security field that you're doing right now that I haven't even tapped into yet. And I don't know if, well, the reason why I haven't tapped into it yet is probably because of the expenses. And if something were to happen, I don't know about the laws and stuff over there, but I know that you have security for clubs. Now, me on the other hand, other than the whole EP world, I already had that stuff, but I also have, like, you know, warehouses, residential. But when it comes to those clubs, you know, you're dealing with alcohol, that becomes a whole different ball game. How is that? Because I know a couple of times I saw, you know, on social media, like confrontations and, you know, situations that you had to handle. How was that working, you know? You've had it for like a year, over a year.
Yeah, so I've been, I got 20 plus some odd years in the industry. And within the clubs, you know, it's always been the risk factor, right? You know what I'm saying? How much risk and liability are we exposed to? You know, having people drinking on site and stuff like that. So, you know, it's always been an issue. But now being a business owner, you got to look at it from the other side. You know, making sure your insurance is all taken care of. You've got the correct, you know, the right underwriter to get what you need. So, you know, there's a lot of little things that you got to get in order. And I think having that gives you the peace of mind of how do you conduct yourself. And again, there's still a standard that you got to, you know, adhere to, you know, from an operational standpoint. And as soon as you have that in order, you're good, man, you know. Insurance is high. You know, you get that forcible ejection. That's a high tag, but it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can shake somebody's hand exiting the venue, and all of a sudden now, you know, you're getting a call from their lawyer saying you broke their wrist. So you got to be very easy with what you're doing. We try to actually stay away from the nightclubs them like
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
We do kind of like restaurants, lounges with a little vibe. Yeah, man, it's the liability and risk in the clubs is pretty crazy.
I got offered a couple.
steady.
Yeah. I got offered a couple jobs to offer my security services for a few clubs, strip clubs, because it's Miami. So it was those type of entertainment clubs, and I just, at first I was like, yo, let me look into it. I called my insurance. They went to the underwriter, and a lot of them didn't approve. Mm-hmm. And then when they did approve, it just didn't make sense financially. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm gonna be paying way more than what the profit margin is gonna be.
For me, that side of it is people management is where, for me, it kind of doesn't become worth it at a certain point. Like, the service we provide, we don't really trade our time for money, if you will. Mm-hmm. Like we provide a service. So, and what we do, we don't think nobody else can do. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna come to us for the service. So the rate is the rate. And then we take care of all we gotta take care of on our back end, and the rate is the rate. And I think at that standard, at that point, they can say they can go wherever else they want to go. There's other companies that are charging $20, $25 an hour and giving their guards 18. Well, you're gonna get what you pay for, right? So keep it to that standard, and I think also aligning, your brand with the right brand. Like we're not gonna just go to a club that, even strip clubs, for instance. Those are the strip clubs, but in the States, they got more of a culture to it. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a culture. So, if you go there and you have your company there, well, now you're aligning yourself with this type of brand. Got guys in suits and stuff like that, but it's more, that's why we call it lifestyle management. Upper echelon services, lifestyle management. This is what we do. We're really into managing lifestyles, from the rich and famous to actors, artists, the young up-and-comers, executives, and I think that's where we kind of get in, where we fit in. Mm-hmm. You got to make it work like that. Like it's when I choose clients, I vet my clients the same way they vet me. You know what I mean? We're not going to just pick up anything and go after anything, because again, it's got to align with our brand. I'm not going to have a guy at a door, of a venue or an event that just is just not conducive to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They got a whole bunch of people. They're promoting an event. They don't know who's coming. Things like that. You know what I mean? They don't know if they don't have a dress code. They're all over the place. Yeah, we can't be doing things like that. You know what I mean? So I think you got to keep your brand up here and keep your client and anybody else who you're working with the same.
No, absolutely. I know when I first started getting those type of venues, or just that type of security services, it was like a few years ago. I never tapped into it because I was so deep into the EP world, and I was like, damn, I got all these licenses, I got all the proper insurance, and I'm not using them.
Right.
How can I do like another income to come in? And that's when I started getting I was just dabbling into it. I didn't want to get too extreme like clubs yet. Right. So that's why I backed out the first time when I had got offered a few clubs, and I'm like, nah, bro, I don't know the system of that yet. Right. And I don't want to just take it and then just fail and then bruise my brand, what I'm saying? So what I did was I got like a few warehouses that they needed 15-hour security at night or whatever, or then it went 24, and then I ended up getting like a really big, some really big contracts for residential, which that was the bread butter. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I always stress people is, you have to have a certain set of guards. And like what I do is I separate. Yeah. I have my guards that's in the EP world. I don't mix them with residential, this and that. Unless they ask, and unless they're like, yo, I want to get some extra income or whatever, then I'll transition them to over here to work it, you know what I'm saying? But I try to keep that line because it's two totally different lanes. 100%. You know what I'm saying? And like, for example, even a person that say, you get someone that works in a club, they're working in a high stress level club environment, I'm not going to grab him and put him into a residential calm. Right. You know what I'm saying? 100%. It doesn't really depend on the character.
Yeah, if he's reactionary,
but from what I've done that. I've grabbed one person from here and put them in there, and they were just way too active. They were way too fidgety, were too bored. Like, yo, man, this is not, So I try to keep people, within their lane. That's why I say when there's people that are like, yo, I want to get into the EP world, and I'm like, I look at their personality,
Right.
see how they are, check their Instagram, see if they, like, bro, I don't know if this really fits your character, bro. I don't think you know what you about to get into, and which a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of guys think it's just standing around or keeping beside your client, like, arm's length away, so to speak. But yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. The amount of guys that I have come to me and say, I'm looking for work, or referred to me, looking for work. And, they do close protection. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I would have started with just sending me, where can I send you my CV and resume,
Yeah,
my bio? Right off the bat, I don't even have to hear that you have experience. I'll go read it, right? I think that kind of lets me know how serious you are, as opposed to, I've done this, I've done that. And I get it. I really get it, because I was there. I was trying to come up, trying to get known. I'm trying to get my face out there. I'm trying to, get the attention of the big dogs. I just think when the call comes, you got to show and prove. That's just really what it is, man. Yeah.
And to sit there and take whatever you can get. If I'm the person that calls you, and let's say, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna put nobody. Let's say I bring somebody in, put on my team, bro. You're not working with any clients. I'm gonna put you in events, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay attention to, or even if I'm not there, I'm gonna have my main guy, my operations specialist. Hey, how's he moving around?
Yeah.
What's his personality like when he's, what I'm saying? Is he got good customer service skills? Does he speak well?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or he's just, I don't want to say a blockhead, but there's guys that just, you tell them that one thing, they just do that one thing. You got to like structure everything,
Yeah.
And I have some guys, like, I got a few guys like that, you know what I'm saying, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? They just do what they're told. They nothing more, But when you're in this bodyguard world, you need to learn. You got to learn to.
You gotta be fluid. You gotta adapt.
Adapt to whatever is coming
100%.
to the environment, because it never happens exactly the way it is, and that's why I guess shout out to Hugo. Hugo was speaking on that a lot. He was like, "Yo, the classes are good. The classes are good. You can't take nothing away from those classes, because it's always time for higher education.
Yeah.
But the way it may be taught, you may get a client that's going to go against the grain on all that shit.
Of everything.
And then how are you going to
100%.
adapt? Are you going to be mentally
100%.
able to adapt to that? And that's when, because look, clients that I have, it's a different situation every day. And I adapt every single day. It's like I got to adjust every single day. There's some clients that, they have itineraries, and they go exactly by that fucking itinerary. I have ones that the itinerary changes drastically all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people panic.
Yeah. To that, sorry to cut you off. To that, I'll say, I think we understand that, we know that. Well, the guys with the experience that have the tenure in the industry, but that's what having the confidence in our skill sets comes in, right? That's where, once you have that foundation, the confidence in your skill sets, those moments that come like that, they're not gonna be as drastic. It's not gonna be as chaotic. You know what I mean? You're prepared. And I think that's really what it is, man. That's the advance, right? Be prepared. So I think, Hugo is absolutely right. Get you some experience, get in and get out there. So if the calls come, but absolutely get in some books.
Get in some books.
Get in some classes. Little things are gonna stick out to you when you read like the advance, or some people don't even know what the P stands for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's get you some some knowledge and
Yeah. Well, what do you think about this? Because look, I put it to you this way. I'm not saying I don't need the class or anything like that, because everybody can learn more.
Yeah.
But when you start from the ground, like when you start fresh and green, and you get groomed by top tier guards, which I did, which Abdul and Badu, by the way, shout out to them. I got groomed by them. And like I told you, I knew nothing. I knew nothing. They groomed me for like a year straight. I was right beside them for like a whole fucking year. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, if I go into an EP course, will I think it would help me for me doing all these years? No, I don't think it will.
Fair.
But if I take something like tactical, like offshore, offshore
yeah.
shooting and all that stuff like
Yeah.
that, bro, that's
Yeah.
will help me. You know what I'm saying? But I've been doing the movement and that shit for so long, and I'm not saying like, yo, I know everything. No. But I'm doing something right. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I
100%.
got groomed. I
Yeah,
got groomed
100%.
that taught me something
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And it's worked this whole way. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that I need to
Yep.
critique what I'm doing right. You know what I'm saying?
100%. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
There
If
you
it ain't
go.
broke, don't
There you
fix it.
go. Now for the newer generation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That it's not going to happen the way like it happened with me.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way anymore.
Right.
They get you and you're just green as fuck.
And you're stuck.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking for what background that you have. So
Yeah.
that is what I look at as far as these new guys coming in, getting the EP courses.
Yeah.
That's good for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Firearms, all that stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then compiling it all together. I think that's amazing. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, no,
I didn't want to
100%.
ever look like I was bashing because I know,
No, absolutely.
you know, a couple of episodes behind, they felt like I was bashing.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm not
man.
bashing them.
It's
but yeah,
Yeah, what I would say to that is there's a threshold I'd say, you know, with experience. Like if you've got 15, 20 years in the EP game, there's probably a lot that you didn't see
Yeah.
more than not, right?
yeah,
Or a lot that you did see more than not.
Yeah.
But your experience is gonna dictate all of that. And I think putting that on paper is hard to do, obviously.
Yeah.
But for the newer guys, or even some of the guys that haven't had that, you know, some guys like, I'd say just take a look at your experience. Have you been on a red carpet? Do you know how to handle yourself on a red carpet?
Yeah.
Because, you know, what I learned from, you know, being with Icon, that was the first time I've ever gotten some red carpet etiquette. You know what I'm saying? And that's important because you don't want to embarrass your clients. You know what I'm saying? Like from bringing her on the red carpet to the handler, dealing with the handlers, the camera people, and you know if you have any sort of intel on your client, like there's a lot to go that goes on over there. And just those little moments, you know, we have TIFF in Toronto, so that is extremely important. You know what I mean? Getting the chance to work at Toronto International Film Festival through whatever company you might get the call from, but being prepared is what's going to get you that call.
yeah.
If you put on your bio that you've got red carpet training, like you know how to operate on red carpet, you're going to get that call before anybody else.
Yeah.
And you're going to continue to get that call before everybody else. And that was my biggest thing as well with my accident, like remaining undeniable, because this is seen as a liability to some. But if I know how to handle myself and operate on paper, and then I can show and prove, and I've shown and prove every time, well, you know, it's pretty much a close and shut case, right? With how I do business. And I think that should be the staple and standard for everybody coming in. Just, you know, get you some backative, man. Like, you know, if you've got the years, I get it, no problem. But I'll tell you this, you know, you go to save somebody's life and, you know, you're not trained to do so.
You're fucked. If you don't got the CPR,
like the basic first aid CPR, you know what I mean? Forget how to, you know, what is it? Sorry, seal a chest, pack a wound, right? Like
that was, you know, I did see that on Icon. I was like, damn, that's good. That's a good trait to learn.
Right?
That's great traits to learn.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
and there's
saying?
a lot of
As far
little
as the blood,
things.
stopping the blood and all that
right?
stuff. Yeah.
There's a lot of little things, you know, getting the client off the X without panicking. Like, the newer generation, there's absolutely a lot they've gotta get in and learn. Like, you know, running a proper advance, you know, the evac plans and all of that. There's a lot to do, man. There's a lot to do.
There is. Us, we were kind of like the old school, which is crazy. I'm old school now, but we were thrown in the fire. We were thrown in the fire, and it was a lot of trial and error.
I believe so.
You know what I'm
much
saying?
with a lot of the artists and entertainers and such at the time as well, right? Like they're all just coming up and learning. There's not a lot of people with that type of experience.
Jump in. And the thing is, the client, I don't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
But the thing about, the principal that we just spoke about when we first met, he was still booming and stuff.
Yep.
But from where I met him then to where he was at that final peak, you know what I'm saying? That when I stopped working with him, it's way different.
Right.
Way different, bro. And I saw, and at the end of the day, there was still trial and error.
Right.
Really for the both of us too, you know what I'm saying? Because of the security he had before me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? was not the same level as me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was basically, I was in a form of
Cleanup crew.
grooming.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
was grooming him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, no, this is the way it's supposed
Yeah.
to be. So it was a lot of bumping heads in the beginning because he was used to these old ways. And I'm like, no, it has to be this way.
Yeah.
And then when trial and error, when something hits the fan and you're like, oh shit, I see why you wanted it that way.
And I think that again is we still got to do our job and educate the clients on
Yeah.
what we're here for, right?
Yes.
Like like I mentioned before, you're calling me, to they got the new app
Yeah.
that they're talking about, Uber for security. That's not the first one. I believe Black Wolf execs had that as well. Yeah, Black Wolf.
What happened to that one?
I think they had something with Uber, got at them with a cease and desist or something crazy like that. Because
So they never even...
I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see that, but it's a great idea. It's it's convenient. I just think there's a lot of prep work that's got to be done into what we do, and I don't think just calling right at the push of a button.
Black Wolf execs.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I actually remember the guy that was creating that one. He was from Georgia.
Yeah. I forgot his name.
Black guy.
Yeah, I got it. I got him on Instagram.
Damn, bro. For some reason, I didn't know the name, but I felt that he was somewhat tied to the new app. I don't know. I thought it was because I didn't remember the name. I'm like, yo,
Right.
I remember this app talking about a while back.
Yeah. Black Wolf execs. He had that. I don't know what exactly happened. I think the marketing and push out was more towards like Uber clientele. So I think that's where maybe he got a little bit of fire.
He had a good thing going at first.
But
somebody caught the wave.
Yep.
Somebody caught the wave and did everything right, I guess.
Somebody got it. It's for me. It's I think it's too convenient. Like I said, there's a lot of prep work that we got to do ahead of that. So, certain clients are gonna. It'll work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Certain clients, it just may not. There's gonna be something for everybody.
Yeah. Shout out to X, by the way, Xavier. He spoke about this prior, but the actual app. It's gonna work for whoever works for it. Like you said, it's not gonna really affect anybody. Like I said, at the end of the day, you do have your people that wanna have a regular driver that drives them on a daily basis that they can get to know and bond with, and that driver actually knows that actual client, knows his ins and outs, what makes him upset, how fast he wants them to drive. He might not like to be driving fast or whatever. Or he can just get an Uber where he'll just get anybody at any time to drive him from A to B. But that driver may drive reckless, one might drive reckless, one may drive too slow, and he end up being late for a meeting. You know what I'm saying? So, saying it on the perspective of the security field, you're gonna have people that don't want to sit there and get to know and bond with the security guy that they're gonna have. That they're just gonna hey, I don't want all that. I just need this person just to watch my back from get to A to B for 2-3 hours. 2-3 hours, okay, I understand. 2-3 hours. But from a person that you're gonna have, which a lot of these executive guys have,
12 hours a day.
12 hours, and they want them every day.
8 to 12.
And they're not gonna have time to want to sit there and want a different guy every fucking day. And like I said, they have it to where you can pick the people. But what if that one guy's not available every day? And you're getting multiple different people every day.
Gets booked ahead of time.
It gets booked. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, it has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
But like I said, bro,
it's convenient. It's a great app. All the power to them. Let's hope it pushes the industry forward. I just think everybody still needs to keep up to that standard. You know what I mean? Or what it is that we're doing.
Well, I just, I'm not trying to go against the grain because, like I said, I don't think it's going to affect anything. But let's just say, what if it does? The reason why I said, what if it does? Remember back in the day when there was cabs?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when there was cabs?
Right.
That's all there was, cabs. Whether you got a bad cab driver or a good cab driver, you still had to catch the cab.
Right.
You still had to have your hand out and catch that fucking cab. And then all of a sudden, fucking Uber came.
Yeah.
Where the fucking cab drivers?
Yep. I mean, they still there.
Yo, hold up, man. Where the cab drivers, though?
So here's, okay. So I don't even know how I'm gonna explain
No,
that.
that's what I'm trying to say.
But no, you're right. But you're right.
That was a good analogy.
It was a great analogy. The convenience is there. I'm just trying to be like, well, the cab drivers, they got the experience now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no, you're right. It's very tough. I think the convenience level to that is, where people are gonna find the benefit, the cost benefit, if you will. But again, like, there is just so much prep work, advanced work
Yes.
to what we do, and
Yeah.
I hate that for better lack of words, a half-ass type of security. Like, if you're gonna call me I'll meet me at the venue. Okay, well, what booth you got? Where is it at? Like, who am I? Like,
Yeah.
send me all the details so I
Yeah.
can at least do something to make sure we're safe. Other than just, and then you're gonna pull up to the club outside in what? A Sprinter, your vehicle, it's loud, it's hot. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's the reason you hired me? What are
Yep.
we, what's the threat? Like, all of these questions got to be done prior to, So a last minute booking or a quick booking or a
Yeah,
last
don't
minute
have
call,
time.
yeah, it's not gonna help me in what I got to do.
Yeah, for the longevity of clients that's gonna have, like, with longevity of potential clients that want to have a guard every single day, it's not gonna be relevant for them. Like I said, I give you an example. This is years ago, way before the principal that we work with and stuff. Every day he has a Sprinter. Pull up. I was his guard. Everything had to be perfect. You had to have, his Bluetooth already had to be in sync. Temperature had to be a certain amount in the Sprinter. Door had to be ajar as soon as he come in, and the light had to be flat. If it's nighttime, your flashlight had to be flashing on his feet as he's walking to get in there.
Yep.
He's not gonna say hi, everybody. He's not even gonna talk to you. He was, and people that I've worked with in the past, Hugo, by the way, he knows exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. Everything had to be preset. So if, let's say we're coming to this podcast, right? You had to put a code in to get in.
Yeah.
Let's say he gets out the car. He's not waiting for the code.
Yeah.
That door has to be open already. The elevator has to be open already.
Yep.
It can't stop on any floors. It has to go straight to his floor.
Yep.
When we come to this door, that door has to be open already, and he's coming straight to the seat, and everything starts.
Yep.
You think by hiring somebody on the app is going to be able to adapt and know that right away?
No.
You know what I'm saying? And this is just from one person. This is just one client that I happen to experience that I know, and this was like, he's been like this forever. Forever, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen him, listen, man, there's rumors, ain't even rumors, because I know the guard that what it happened to, but he ended up leaving, I think they were in Australia. He left that dude because the Bluetooth was broken. Left him in Australia.
That's wild.
Bro.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild.
I couldn't believe it when I heard that story.
The client's gonna want what the client wants.
Yeah,
right?
you know what I'm saying? And like, you think that if somebody's using an app, you think they're not gonna come across somebody like that?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, it's gonna be a trial and error. I think it's gonna be good for beginner clients.
Yeah, there's gonna be people who just want to get,
just
everybody
wanna
needs
do it.
security, they
Yeah.
just don't know it yet. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs security, they just don't know it yet. Remember
Yeah.
I said that. And with that, it's you're gonna have those clients that are gonna find value in that app.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna have clients that are gonna use the app and they're gonna be like, well, this is what I need. You know what I mean? They're gonna be clients that are gonna find out, no, I would like my door open, or I would like this, and I can't get that from this, or, this is the type of security that I need. Now, we understand this as a standard in the industry because of the work that we've done with certain clients. I think the benefit to this app for guys like us in the shadows, for real, that's gonna retain our value. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? There's power in secrecy, I guess, right? You know what I'm saying? So not having access to a legend like yourself so quickly is gonna be what's gonna retain the value and is gonna keep that standard at where it's supposed to be. When I get those calls from you, there's a reason why I'm getting those calls from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I said, there's honor and there's power in that. So I think if, us in the industry continue to kind of keep pushing it forward, that's why I'm big on training, because again, we say that we don't work with those we don't train with. You know what I mean? Because I don't know your level of, you know what I mean? So I think with that, and we keep it to that, I think we'll all be all right, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We won't have to worry about any new apps starting. We're not going to get outdated. None of that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think the reason, well, I ain't gonna say people are panicking, some of these security guys, but I feel like there's a lot of uproar about the app is because of the type of guards that they're putting on there. They're only military and law enforcement.
Right.
I think the reason why they're doing that, bro, to be honest with you, because that's more of like a secure, like they're probably doing that to bait.
Right.
Because that
I
feels
see,
more
yes,
secure. Oh, he's
he's
military.
law
Oh, he's
law enforcement,
Instead of putting
military,
a regular civilian that may be 10 times better than those
100%.
law enforcement,
Yeah.
and you know, but it just looks better on paper.
Well, again, so what are the resumes that these guys are coming to the table? Okay, you're Leo, you're military. What did you do?
Yeah.
Your experience. You know what I mean? What trainings did you take part in? What courses did you take advantage of? I think that's where it's still going to separate who you are and what you do. Because again, law enforcement don't mean nothing. You know,
No,
you don't have. There's
bro,
none of that, man.
no.
You know what I'm saying? So military maybe, depending on what kind of details you've been on, and you know what I mean, deployments you've had. But again, we're talking about a different setting where you might be a solo operator. Protecting us, you know, you have one protectee where you got to take care of, or you've got a team, and now you got to learn how to manage it.
Yeah.
What environment are you in? There's a lot of things that go into this, man.
That's what I was trying to tell people as far as you know, the different traits and everything like that. Like me being a prior law enforcement, if me being a cop and then going straight into the private security sector, it wouldn't mesh.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to go through other realms to mold into that.
Yes.
Like I said, came from being a cop for a few years, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't really my lane. Didn't really like the, you know, traffic stops, and I couldn't see myself doing that shit for 20 years. Just I'm gonna be a buck with you. But got into that, and I kept, you know, ended up getting into the clubs, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of crazy. In the clubs, that worked on my customer service skills.
Yep.
That worked on my customer service skills. Now, being in law enforcement, that worked on my customer service skills as well. But as far as the clubs, like diffusing situations and stuff like that, that helped a lot, bro.
I've always said
that helped a lot.
I've always said we are. When it comes to security, like we're not like law enforcement at all. Not even close. I don't like. We're protectors.
Yeah.
Our job is to protect. We don't serve.
Yeah.
But we're here to protect property or life. We're not reactionary. You know, you don't come when you call.
Yeah.
Like we're already there. We're preventative measures.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're preventative, not reactive.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, 100%. We're 100% absolutely proactive. So it's like you got to be prepared for all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to go get the training and all these. I'm big on that, man. Who doesn't want to be prepared?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Who don't want to be prepared?
That was really a good argument. You know what I'm saying? Being in law enforcement is kind of like a reactive.
It is. It's all
that's on the
reactive.
calls. You know what I'm saying?
And already, if you're not prepared, like if you don't have the necessary skill set or mindset, you're reactive. You're going to whatever call it is. What, man? You know how many times you get security calls on the radio in a nightclub, like, right?
Granted, that being said, bringing that, coming from the law enforcement field, going to the clubs, you feel me, going into that, and then getting like, you know, the tactical training with EP courses and then molding that to one is amazing.
It's 100%.
It's amazing.
You know what I mean? You're just going to be well-rounded. It's like sports, man. You got to practice, bro.
Yeah,
What we talking about? Practice?
Look, bro, just like...
How we talking about practice?
Yeah, yeah. Just like, look, okay, I'll put it like this. Like even, me, you know, going to high school and even college, I was a running back, right? Raw as hell running the ball, you know what I'm saying? I was top tier. But that was only one thing. You think for me to get to the next level, I need to learn how to run routes.
Yep.
I need to learn how to block.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Read coverages.
Yep.
You know, it just, and that's when I start really realizing. Like when I was in high school, it was just running that ball. I'm the fastest dude on the team. I'm running the ball.
Scoring. Let me score.
I was just, you were such a superior athlete over. But then when you come to the next level, okay, you're at the next level.
Now you got to train.
Now you need to have a few other components because now you're dealing with people that has the same shit that you have, but maybe more. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna adapt?
Yep.
So I look at it like that. So basically, like I feel like molding everything as one. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't feel like, hey, if you come out of high school and then you jump into an EP course and then they throw you into a job, no, I don't think it's gonna
No,
work.
100%.
It's not gonna work.
No, it's not gonna work. And I don't think it works like that with anybody, really.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, when I'm saying take a course, take any course. Take a lot of courses.
Yeah,
Read a lot of books, audio books, hard copies, whatever. But like, do it all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying, go to this specific course, but take some courses, man. Because then you'll see, okay, I got value from this, or I didn't get value from this. When you get into your next detail, this is going to come up, and you're going to have the experience now, the knowledge to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what this is. It's trial and error each time, and you got to be prepared. No one day is going to be the same. We know this, right? But if you are prepared, your foundation is set. Your skill sets, your hard and soft skill sets are maintained. I think you've checked off pretty much a lot of the boxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the ones that you aren't, you can now be prepared for.
Facts.
Simple, right? Plan, plot, strategize, man. Bomb first.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Well, let me ask you this. Really rare occasion that you're, in Miami, that we both in Miami.
Right.
Well, I live here, but me being here, when
And
you're here,
same time as crazy.
what brings you here for this? I mean, you don't have to get into in depth of your, but what? You had like a detail that you had to do?
No, so we celebrating family out here right now, a little vacation. But I love Miami. Florida, honestly, America's crazy. America's great. It's dope. I mean, it's just different, so different from Canada in terms of, just your rights and things of that nature and opportunities. There's so many people here, so many people doing things that, it allows you the opportunity to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Anybody I come in contact is potential, benefit or asset to the company, right? Like it's because they're doing something.
Yeah.
You shake hands with somebody, they're doing something. Or they know somebody that's doing something. And every person you meet is a networking opportunity.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think that's one of the main reasons. Well, I'm from Florida, but one of the main reasons living in Miami, especially in the city, is that everybody. It's a big pool of a network.
100%.
Doesn't matter, like you said, doesn't matter where you go. There is people doing stuff, and it motivates me.
Yeah.
I like to be surrounded by motivation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very competitive due to playing sports. You know what I'm saying? All my life.
Yeah.
So once I see somebody, even when I see somebody else podcast,
Right.
that's motivating me to go harder.
100%.
Like, okay, now I'm gonna go harder now.
Right.
Okay, I see I'm gonna go harder. You know what I'm saying? So, being in Miami, I always seen you living in Miami, dog.
Right.
I'm gonna be real with you, dog, from, and I'm not, I don't know everybody in Toronto or, but from seeing the group of people that I know in Toronto, I can tell that whoever left out of there and
Right.
came here would sprout out and do great.
Right.
And I'm talking about from on their own, not being affiliated to certain people to push them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot.
There's a lot of that,
People that I know, they can come over here, but they're being pushed.
Yeah.
They're getting not pampered, but they have a safety net.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not coming, I wouldn't say coming from a place of survival, but necessity.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Yeah,
I can see
agree.
you actually, coming here and doing really great things, dog.
Thank you.
And the time is gonna come, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I tell Cena this all the damn time. I'm like, yo, Cena, I tell Cena, like, yo, Cena, you just need to come here, bro.
It's insane.
I know what you can do, and I see what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even there was times we couldn't really make it work because of him being over there, and my work schedule, and we just couldn't find time to do meetings. We were gonna do some type of business venture together.
Right.
We just couldn't make it happen on my part. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because of the motion I got going on my behalf. But I just see, that's why I always put Cena in whatever network that I was in.
Yeah.
Like there was
So much
big wig guys. I'm like,
opportunity.
yo, Cena's the guy. You need to move
There's
with Cena.
so
Cena
much opportunity out here in
Yeah,
America. Like you said, especially in Florida, Miami, people are passing through daily, which is what sparked the app to show up. And I think if you're just boots on the ground, involved, getting your hands and elbows dirty, rubbing shoulders with who you need to, but keeping to the standards, as I like to say it, within the industry. Those calls will continue to come to you, and you'll just continue to do the work, right? The alumni I'm a part of, there's so many calls that I see for details, and it's crazy because I'm, not to say that I'm past the details, but I don't think you'll see me at a door for quite some time anymore, right? But coming here to Miami, to Florida, and then getting those calls, like, bro, it's 20-something degrees in December. Like, who does not want to stand outside, you know, in Miami? Like, I don't think I'd mind to do that in a suit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'd mind. Just, you know, just for the push of the brand, right? But and being a part of the lifestyle of what it brings, you know, to be a protector, right? I would do that here, absolutely, you know, and enjoy it, you know, get that spark again. But back home, you know, the weather's,
the weather
it ain't it.
Yeah.
The industry is booming a little bit, but you know, it's there's not a lot of excitement at home in regards to, you know, the industry, so to speak. There's a lot of things to do though. Like, we're into residential security now, fire watches, overwatches, things like that. Trying to expand into the armed side of it when we get all those paperwork and credentials in order. But man, it's you know, there's still work to be done.
Yeah.
Right. It just doesn't feel as exciting.
Yeah.
Right? Here's where I feel like, you know, it's just the sun, the weather, man, everything.
Well, yeah, and like I say, even the rest of the United States, man. You know, I get a lot of emails through my website. Well, you know, like, people want potential work and all that stuff, or how do I get into this type of field or whatever. Right. And like I spoke about this before, it's like, you know, it does depend on where. People say, yo, you can do it anywhere. I'm like, no, you can't. I'm like, bro, you need to be in a hub. You need to be in a hot spot. Hot spots are this. Miami, #1.
Yep.
I don't know about LA right now. LA's kind of weird.
It's a little funny right now.
Yeah, but LA was actually first.
Yeah, 100%.
Then Miami. You know what I'm saying? But now everybody, with all that shit going on, everybody since COVID, from LA moved to Miami.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? New York too. You know what I'm saying? So Miami being #1, Atlanta's booming, dog. Atlanta got a lot of streamers.
I would even put Atlanta over in LA. Miami, Atlanta, LA.
Atlanta is booming. Like, a lot of streamers. Like, I'm in the stream world. I'm in the stream world. I have people I work for in the stream world. That's a monumental lane.
Space. They need the space.
Yeah, that's a huge lane. And I noticed a lot of streamers. Most of them, they used to be in LA. But I noticed a lot of them, top ones, are in Atlanta.
What I like about streamers now is what it started from. Like, I guess streamers back in the day would have been like the crazies on YouTube. It
was a YouTube thing,
right? They did all the wild, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And they've got more intentful with their content. And
all
that.
They get involved.
You know what I mean?
They get
Which is what got us involved now from a higher standard level, as opposed to just being there to keep them out of some shit and fighting. You know what I mean? So now they're, you know, business, and they're inside the house all day. Right, they're inside the house all day, right?
Most of them,
right? You know, there's a lot of movement in the industry for what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think networking and mixing and mingling.
Yeah.
What I would say again, like from an up and comer standpoint, like you said, you know, get with a hub. And I tell this to my guys all the time, and I think Shadow kind of instilled this into me. There's levels to it, you know what I mean? But you've got to want it. You know, I think, you know, the critical thinkers, the forward thinkers, those are few and far between now, especially in the industry. So to get guys like that, you know, that understand what their purpose is here or what they want to do within this industry is important from the beginning. So if you got a guy that's coming in and, you know, they're just a venue guy, no problem, okay? But there's plenty of opportunity, especially within my company, to kind of get up and do things. But you got to be available. You got to show and prove. You got to want to be here. You know, take the courses and classes. Like, you got to also stand out. Just like I got the attention, or I had to get the attention of you guys, the OGs and such. You got to still do that. Like, there's got to be something that's going to stand out to be like, you know what? I have the confidence to put such and such on this detail that I just got a call for last minute, and I got to figure out and da-da-da. However, I've seen you work, and this is what it is being with a company or with a hub. I've seen you work, do the work. I have confidence in that. I can trust that. Just like you, I'm 3,000 miles away. You know what I'm saying? You can know that you can call me because of the confidence that I've instilled in you to make sure I can do that detail.
Yeah.
And even further so, have the confidence in me to know that I have the confidence in my guys.
Your team, yeah. Because
My
I know that
team.
you're not going to be the person overseeing.
Right.
I mean, you're going to be overseeing, but you're
Right.
not the person working the
Right,
whole thing.
but this is where we've evolved to now. So now, and what I hope guys understand is this is how the industry levels up. You know, I was once the guy getting the call, you know, at the bottom almost, you know, to do the work and such. And now it's like I'm able to get the call with the trust factor that I've earned and the rapport that I built to put my guys on. And you know, the guys part of that did a lot of the Icon alumni work that came to Canada. They got that work because I'm an Icon alumni. You know what I'm saying? So the confidence that I instill in them and the industry, or sorry, the course instilled in me, that just gets passed on. You know what I mean? But now, okay, you did that. You see what the opportunities that it brings you. Let's go get the course, bro. Go do the course. So now that you're gonna get a call. And this is how you level up. This is how the branding starts. Because, you know, I can only bring you so far. You know what I mean? I can only bring so much work to you. But the opportunity to level up is there. It's for you to take. You know what I mean? You got that because, okay, I'm an Icon alumni, so why don't you become one? So now the calls, and you're involved in that circle. Those calls will come to you, you know.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, so I maybe like there's a skill set, you know, let's say you know how to fly a plane. Let's say you know how to speak Portuguese. You're right? That's an asset to have, you know. And, you know, if you aren't a part of that hub, that circle, doing the work, people don't know about those things, you're not going to get the opportunities. You'll get the call constantly to go to Portugal if you can speak Portuguese, whatever the case is, or you know how to fly a plane, or can ride a motorcycle for a motorcade, or all these little skill sets are important, very important. But if you're not a part of a hub or a circle, somebody who can utilize these skill sets, they're never going to be seen. They're never going to be utilized, right? So, you know, there's a lot of guys that, you know, I'm doing this, I do that, you know, they'll get the call for more money. Think about the future, man. Think about, you know, what you're doing, the groundwork that you're laying for the future. I get it, you know, we're in a survival mode sometimes, or out to do things out of necessity. But think for the future, man. You got to think for the future. So align yourself with some solid guys. Make those relationships. I meet everybody I go when I'm at a venue, whether it's CP work or just at a venue on vacation. I'm always talking to the security or the head doorman, you know, because I never know when I might be popping through there with a client again or whatever it might be. And I want to have that rapport for ease of egress or whatever it might be, or, you know, all of that. You got to have that rapport. You got to, there's no reason not to. You know what I mean? Every interaction's got to have a benefit. So.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, bro. Well, listen, bro, this has been amazing, bro.
Dope.
This has been amazing.
I can't believe I got to do it. That's
No,
It's
this-
crazy.
no, this has been amazing.
I mean, because the trip was kind of last minute, right?
Yeah,
For my
you hit
birthday.
me up, and I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna. At first, I was like, yo, okay. Just put it this way. Jizzle, you know, Jizzle.
OG.
Shout out
Yep,
to Big
yep.
Jizzle, by the way.
OG.
OG, we supposed to do it last week, and he was actually here,
Okay.
but our schedule was all
Didn't
fucked
line up.
We couldn't line it up, and I know he had this gap between this opening between. It was real small, bro. I'm like, that shit is. It's not gonna work. You know, at that time, I'm like, yo, bro, it's either gonna have to be in the morning, you know what I'm saying, or night, like 8
Night,
and 9, you
yeah.
know, and that's prime time for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not for me, for that day. But he was like in the afternoon. It was still like around that time where like, bro, it's because I had it when I did my first podcast, bro. I did it. I was just playing with the times,
Right.
And I got a call right. I had to get up right in the middle of it.
Oh, man.
Get on my phone and take it. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that no more. So the times just didn't match right, bro. It would have been very iconic because I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah. He's a real OG, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you see it in the name.
he's been in the mud in the early years, and like I said, I met him my first year in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I always tell like 3 people:
Yep.
Badu, Abdul, and Big Jizzle, Big J.
Yep.
Those are the ones.
I'm gonna say this real quick before,
Yeah.
because we started with this. Like I said, it's an honor to be here, bro. Because gentlemen like yourself, Shadow, Shamir, Big Vic, shout out Big Vic, All Out Greatness. Even Hugo,
Yeah.
Vic, VD.
Yeah.
Like these are guys that, hell, even Andrew.
Andrew, hell yeah.
Like
Shout
even
out
like
Andrew, bro.
I'll say, like I said, like these are guys that came up, were doing the work, and for me, when I was coming up, the goal was to kind of be amongst the stars with you gentlemen, and kind of getting there. And I'm seeing it now, like even having this convo with you, talking to Vic like I do. Like I seen Vic on Smack DVDs when I was 16. So like to see all that now and to be here amongst you guys, like, not to be fucking sound corny, excuse me, but like, it's possible.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? If you just do the work, like you can get amongst the who you need to be around in that network that you need to be around. If you want to be around these guys on the app, the Leo, the military, no problem. You can do that. But there's legwork, and you got to rub shoulders. You got to be in the space, make the contact, make the connects, do the work, show, improve. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. But to say that, like, man, it's an honor to be here. You guys are some real OGs, for real. X as well. Like, one of our clients now, me and X, we have a client in Canada that we take care of. But even to have taken care of him and like kind of, and then meet X was dope.
Yeah.
Because even that now spread into other work, and you now become a part of a circle. Shout out Brito out in LA. Like, you get calls from certain people. There's a huge network, man, that I'm really proud to be a part of. And it was a lot of work to get here, but it's doable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you just continue to show and prove, the network is vast, man. And if we're in the industry of protecting, but servicing the clients, and not all of this is asset. If you have a client that's taken off to wherever, you should be able to make a call. Istanbul, Turkey, like wherever, man, you should be able to make a call for some boots on the ground if you can't go there with your client, or you should be the go-to person for security amongst your peers.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. And you can make that network, you can make that play. It's very easy. But you gotta do the work.
100%, 100%. You want to throw your website and your IG or anything like
man.
that? Yeah,
absolutely. IG is upper echelon _services. The website is upperechelonservices.ca. And man, you can find us on Instagram. _CP is my personal. Upper Echelon Services, UES Lifestyle Manager, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Big fame.
House of Fame podcast. It's been an honor. You know what I'm saying? We'll see you on the next one, guys.